dust and turned me into such. All you granted me was lust. And what I seemed to have grown was rust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? My might and my angels' wings have been bruised every strain. Those who break to blood are so fumes in vain. So believe in me and elect, I'm your leader today. Rise! Dry me from dust and turn me into such. All you granted me was lust. And what I seemed to have grown was rust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? My mighty night angels' wings have been bruised every string. Those who break to blood are so fiends in vain. So believe in me and let time your little dead. Rise! So scream for me, little sister. Wanna leave you for another master. Leave you in a pool of from dust and turned me into such. All you granted me was lust. And what I seemed to have grown was lust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? My mighty night angels' wings have been bruised every strain. Those who break to blood are so fumes in vain. So believe in me and collect. I'm your leader today. Rise! So speak for me, little sister. Wanna leave
And we're live.
Hello,
Okay.
hello.
Yep. Welcome back, everyone, to the next session of Here Be Dragons. Who will be giving us our recap this week?
Ruford, do you want to do it or do I want to do it?
Yeah. All right. Last time, delicious campaign. We began with Jasper just being absolutely flabbergasted with Sapphire. Like he was like, you met the Black Staff, you nearly died from a cult, and he offered you a job, and you're like, maybe. And then he kind of like just asked, and then he just went outside, banged his head against the wall, and walked off. Sapphire, who was doing her work, heard a scampering sound and discovered Klaus had broken into her shop. He he went, yo, Leslie wants to meet you.
Leslie?
And Sapphire's like, that's cool, alright. Also, you got a rat problem. And it's like, okay, sure. And then,
Go ahead,
zoomed
eat
off.
them.
Yeah, and then we pan over. Not too far away, because this is also in the castle wall. Yeah, this is in the castle ward. And, it's the Cheese and Corvus who are decided to go to the city record. Cheese more just going with Corvus because I guess she just wanted to hang out with Corvus for the day.
He's what it. Corvus
see
and
a
Cheese
high-
do with bureaucrats.
they see a high man calling himself the Donkey King who throws a barrel at a guard. Funny reference. And then we keep on walking. We see a group of fancy-looking elves and a group of tieflings who somehow Corvus knows are members of the Hell Riders of Alterel. How he knows this, who fucking knows?
He found a book in the woods.
Not a book in the woods. We go to, and then they get in there. Cheese has to tap dance because of tiles. Corvus asks about seeing some records, which he's told he has to fill out a form in order to go look at them. Corvus completely misinterprets this and believes that he can just go and look for them himself. He's told no, that is not how it deals. And Corvus is met with the annoyance of bureaucracy. He's not careful. Then they decide to go sightseeing. Obviously, he's not used to this ward. Looks for maybe like a tour guide or like a tour brochure. He found some kids. Silver's exchanged. Some chalk is had. All is delicious. All is well. We see a flea circus, much to the amusement of Cheese and the curiosity of Corvus. And then while they're walking, we see a pet shop. And of course, as any D&D player, we had to go in. It's quite large with a bunch of exotic pets, and we go downstairs and there's a bunch of like drakes and shit. Eventually we leave, Corvus buying a Hellas Tressum, referred to as his
His eminency.
Eminency, the prince. After a little bit of persuading, and a little deal is struck between Corvus and Prince. Sapphire, we then pan over to the blacksmith, where Leslie is working with new elf. Sapphire, of course, arrives and is introduced. He introduces himself as Venali to Sapphire, and after a bit of time, Corvus and Cheese do arrive to introduce this companion, and the group were like, "All right, cool, let's go sign up this good boy." Get all that. Venali is a little like, "Why do I have to tell you all this? I don't understand. What is signing up? What is documentation?" And then once we are finished signing up, Corvus looks at the notice board and sees a poster for a missing child. Takes it. And then after that, we are led out of the hall and around to the side through I put a gate, but it could be a door. I'm not quite sure. Pretty
Oh
sure.
my god.
How do you define a gate and how do you define a door?
Yeah.
We are not getting into this again, I swear to god.
I
Yes,
wanna know where
that's
we're
where we
going.
left off.
All
if you
right.
missed anything.
Oh, one thing, Cheese called Corvus her friend.
Yes, and it
Yeah.
threw Corvus for a fucking loop.
Yes.
Corvus short-circuited for a second.
Yeah.
Could a loop be considered a gate?
Depends. Is it like a? Then for the loop you get a little weird because if it's up above, it's a hatch.
I heard that sigh.
Shadow, please start the session, I'm begging you.
Yep. Okay. So, where we last left off, everyone was about to be allowed access to the larger part of the Adventurers Guild. And I'm just bringing everyone's tokens out onto this map.
Love how the session
Where's Boy?
started off as we are being led into the back rooms.
There's Boy.
Bye!
Do you have a character sheet for that yet? And you give Corvus control?
Sheet, sort of. Control, no.
Boy
You
has a
cannot
mind
control
of
the
his own,
boy.
aka Shadow's mind.
Well, the kind of joke with Corvus is that he doesn't technically. Boy is completely independent of him. But
He just hangs
just
out.
listens to suggestion.
Okay.
Boy is just
But-
chill.
Regardless, as with the gate is brought to open, you all
Gate. Okay. Sure.
brought to here.
Ow.
I can zoom out.
Yes, I can find it.
Where the
Into the
fuck- then-
void.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Hey!
I
whoa,
this is a
hey.
demiplane, isn't it?
Okay, this
It is not. You can see beyond the walls there are shops in the rest of the city.
God.
we're in the garden.
Wow. Wonderful.
You can see a few people practicing marksmanship, including one mage who has rather singed this set of armor. Immediately to your right, you see a shop that is right now has a sign over it, "Out to
Lunch.
lunch."
That's the shop.
This one.
There's shop in the black space.
So right over here, there is a.
Shadow, I think there's a
Oh,
way to get.
I cut off the door.
Shadow, I think there's a way to get a commanding ping, to, like draw people. to
It's
where you're
shift ping.
taking. Yeah.
Just zoom me down. It didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm gonna go ahead and. There we go. You can see the wall and some doors now.
Okay.
See a part of a door, but I'm probably zoomed too far out now. Yep, there's the wall.
Why do you zoom out so much?
So I can see things.
You don't need to see things.
There are also more of them on the other side, but this one currently has a sign "Out to lunch."
Okay. See what it is?
So the only thing it says is Mertz.
Would I know what that is
I
as a
don't.
resident?
No.
No. Okay.
I think this is like the Adventure Guild specific thing.
Yeah.
Fancy.
This is for the cool folks.
That is something you could potentially learn if you were in certain circles, but
Or if they were open.
or if they were open, yes.
There's a reason they're
over
closed.
Over
What?
here is a Arcanist shop.
It's an Arcanist.
Someone who
Anything
studies
magic.
Arcanist is someone who's like the technical term Arcanist is someone who studies magic but isn't actually capable of magic.
Gotcha.
I imagine Lessla is like actually saying this in character to Corvus.
This one is a tavern.
Nice.
Yes,
Ooh, nice.
more
Wait, Shadow,
doors
using,
in the shadow.
Using my knowledge of like
Smithy.
is that tavern the Tiefling's tavern?
Tiefling's Tavern?
Yeah, the Tiefling I met who owns the magic thrift shop.
No. It. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes, this actually is his.
Yeah, because using Corvus's ability of like navigation, he might be able to.
Yes, no, this would be his tavern.
Gotcha. I can meet him on both. I can go through both his doors, front and back.
Oh,
Or rather, this is
Corvus.
a second one of his.
That is the worst way you could have worded that.
What?
I
He
like
has a front and back door, and I
Yes.
can enter both. What is wrong with that?
This one up here is a courier service,
Summer
Oh,
child.
glorious. That's cool.
and
Guy there.
this one is a historian.
Well, I
That
know
might
where
be
I'm
up
going.
Clifford's alley.
The middle one.
Yeah, middle.
Yep. That's the.
The
shortest
historian
door.
is also closed at the moment.
Ah, damn it.
It's lunchtime. Everyone's eating lunch. Probably at that tavern. Like this was a tavern, right?
So this one they actually has broken windows, and there is a sign. Pardon our dust. Renovations required.
Ah.
As well as another
Not
one.
renovations, not
As well
undergoing
as well as,
renovations.
as well as
Renovations required.
yes, as well as another one. All items effective immediately. All items must be identified via the Arcanist shop prior to being admitted in the doors.
Okay, Shadow, you've done something really fucky wucky here.
What?
I have control of boys token, not Corvus.
What?
So yes, this is
Are you
why.
not set to control your own token?
If you so
Hang on, I'm gonna make sure I did that for
Yeah,
everybody.
so
That's good.
make sure that his default token is representing his sheet, or else he won't have control of it if you pull it
Should
out.
be. I might have to fix that. Just making sure everyone else is good.
I'm
I'm
good.
fine.
Okay, yeah. So you are all good. You're
It's
welcome to
Margaret.
wander around here as you wish.
Well,
Also,
wasn't
up
the-
here is another quest board.
Yeah.
Ah, fun. Wasn't the tavern lady gonna show us some other stuff, or she's just like, here you go, extra things?
She essentially was leading you back here and giving you free reign.
Oh.
Well, mission board it is.
Up
Yeah,
here is a large tree with
I
there's a banner
God
next
damn
to it, along with these two individuals.
Silverster.
Lessla would be able to make a check on this,
it.
as would
Oh.
Corvus.
Oh, okay, what kind of check?
It'd be history. That's not a very hard one.
I only have a +1 intel.
Yeah, that's a dirty 20.
Okay.
You
I'm
do
gonna
it, Corbin.
be not a dirty 20.
Hey!
That's both enough. You both recognize this as a banner of the Emerald Enclave.
Oh,
Lady
Hmm.
Silverster,
Oh.
yes.
might I go to the tree?
How do you feel about other druids?
You know, I don't think I've met any.
Well, I think you'll probably meet a couple if you go over there.
And then cheese is just gone.
You know how to contact me if you need me. And she'll give a little bow and then get her off to the tree.
Are you skipping?
No. She just wants to go see the tree. She doesn't care about the druids.
Yeah.
Are we waiting
So
on me to do
there's-
something, or are y'all gonna do something first?
We're just looking at the quest board.
So there is a multitude of them around. There are a few other individuals here at the moment. You notice there's not as many as it would seem. Why there's not that many today? Good question. Cheese, you heading over to the tree, there is a very large man standing there. He has no shirt and a pair of leather slacks, I guess you could call them. They looks like he's sewn together himself. Decently, but he's clearly no professional. And the woman next to him wears a... It looks like silk, but you know well enough to know there's... Mostly that's plant fiber. You're very familiar with that.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
she gives you a nod and gestures you over.
And Cheese is wearing silk, so
Mm-hmm.
Cheese will go to her beckon.
Tell me, why do you come to seek out our enclave?
I don't know what that is. I just wanted to see the tree.
It is rather magnificent in this place of brick and stone.
I'm not particularly fond of the brick or stone.
It is a necessity for most, but I must confess I share your opinion.
Mm, brick and mortar. Too permanent for my taste.
And mine as well.
Cheese is going to put her hand to the tree and just vibe with the tree for a sec. What's this other guy up to? Is he just chilling? Is he just watching?
He's kind of just chilling there. He's leaning on his very massive halberd that he has. Just kind of leaning on it. If you actually look at it, you realize that it is actually a stone head. But very well made stone head.
Odd. You don't see many weapons out of stone.
Hard to make them.
I can
Hard to
imagine.
ken them even more.
Hmm. I've heard of
Way
people
too useful
working.
sometimes, though.
Oh, I can imagine. I've heard of people fashioning black glass into weapons, but never stone.
Too fragile for my taste.
Hmm. I suppose that's fair. Rather sharp, though.
Very.
What's this enclave thing, anyways?
And the woman kind of gestures you back towards her.
Cheese will
We
follow said gesture.
we have been active for a very long time. Our goal is to preserve the natural world. That dwells outside the cities and the realms that most choose to be theirs.
I'm assuming you're a band of druids?
Many of our number are, but not all.
Hmm. Interesting. You know, I've never actually met another druid.
You are a member of a circle.
By means of technicality.
She nods. In nature, things are not always so black and white.
Hmm. And sort of just learned it. I don't know. Are there other trees in this garden, or is it just this one?
So all of these around are also trees.
Oh, there's just trees. This is
They
just
are.
a
These are just
different looking
much
tree.
smaller. This one is huge.
They're unimportant trees compared to this one.
You just see as you look at the trees, you just see cores
So
lurking.
this one is at least 50 feet tall.
Oh wow.
These are more like 20.
Okay, what spells do I have? God damn it. She's just gonna place her hand on the trunk of the tree and just sort of, for lack of better term, commune with it. She just wants to do druid things with trees. She hasn't seen a tree in the city, and she likes trees, especially
Okay.
big trees. I suppose if I were to
Corvus,
try and glean anything from it, I want to know how old it is.
that would be a nature check.
Go forth, my -1 in wisdom. Or my -1 in nature. Also, shit. I forgot that I have my hardware acceleration on. Let me that.
It's hard to tell. You've not seen this type of tree before. It could be one that grows very fast, it could be one that grows very slow. But without knowing, you would not be able to get a definitive answer.
Let's see. Cheese is just gonna vibe with the tree until somebody stops her.
They don't seem to mind. Corvus, are you doing anything over here, or just kind of watching Cheese?
He's watching Cheese, but you can tell, like, as they were talking, he was listening. Anyone who was paying attention could tell he was.
Okay. You're
Corvus, do you
familiar
wanna
with
come
these
over?
guys. You have a general idea of who they are. This kind of general MO for them.
But I have, as a person who lives in a forest that is essentially protected, would I have ever these run across one of their camps or run across any of their agents, or would I not have known? Probably.
You would have seen people who could be part of it. They don't go around saying, "Oh, this is what we are."
Yeah.
But you might have knowledge of them and would have met individuals who are likely allied with them, if not members of it.
Yes.
But
Like,
never anyone
like,
who's gone up and said, "Hey, I'm part of the Emerald Enclave. Join." That's
Well,
not something.
I imagine more. Corvus looks like the type of guy who might be a poacher, so it's like they might have like be threatened. Like,
There have been some who've confronted you, yes.
yeah, he has a couple wounds from those. I just sticks to himself. I imagine like after minutes, and not that these guys aren't friendly, but seeing cheap vibing and like looking at those guys, because Corvus already has a job. That's one thing to do, so you'll just inch a little closer. Inch a little closer.
Alright. As for everyone else, you're over here looking at the at the board, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's quite a variety put out. Then the vast majority of them are are in the vicinity of Waterdeep. These are considerably more challenging than a lot of what you were seeing before. Like, these are actually, most of them don't have details as to what they are. They simply say, here's what I'm looking for, this is the type of person I need, the skill set I need, and a person to report to. There is a couple that do have names, like, here's who's posting it. If you want to look and see if you find anything else, you can go ahead and just roll me the investigation.
Investigation, lovely.
It's not very high, I just want to see what you get.
Sapphire, you want to
all
assist
three
each
of
other
you.
on this? Oh, okay. All three of us.
All three of you,
okay.
Sapphire, Venali, and Lessla.
That's
We
a
are
16.
rolling
Investigation.
All right. Fucking Christ. The dice gods don't like Sapphire.
No. And I think Venali is staring off into space.
Night? Night?
Did he say did he say BRB and just, or I heard him for a sec.
I did
You
too.
did.
Yeah, no, I'm here. What's
Nah.
up?
Roll
What?
investigation.
I did not hear that. Have to open up cheat. Am I good at investigation? I don't think I am.
You should be at least decent.
Well, rolling a 6 doesn't help.
No.
Okay.
I hate
So,
rolling so low.
none of you recognize any of the names on here. The only thing that you're able to find on here are the only person who's able to find anything that they recognize as being potentially important. Lessla, as you sift through them, you find one of them. It does request those who are adept at or somewhat knowledgeable in healing magic or other means of healing and aid. And where it is where you are requested to come is the Temple of Illustrae.
All right.
Which I will elaborate as to why you would know that. Probably one of, if not the most adept casters in Waterdeep is the matron of the Temple of Illustrae.
Yep. All right.
Damn shame we don't have any clerics.
It is a damn shame we don't have any
Well-
clerics. Well, technically speaking, as we've always said, a druid is just a nature cleric.
True nature domain.
I'm gonna imagine the reason why Sapphire's investigation was so low was because she's like trying to subtly catch a glance at like these people and their reactions to this group
They're
of
ca-
potentially terrifying people.
So the little gnome here, who's decked out in some looks like very cobbled together armor, and you can actually see parts of it tick and whir, is kind of looking through. He seems to be looking for something specific, hasn't found it yet. This fellow is kind of casually looking at anything that has a gold pricing on it, and kind of making note of them.
It's a mood.
Yep. Lessla will grab the one asking for healers. And if Sapphire looks at her questioningly, she'll answer with, both Cheese and Corvus are adept at aiding in their own different ways.
All right.
And I'll roll it up and put it into my
Okay.
my case.
So, do you want to look at it a little more closely before you do
Yeah.
that, or just?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. I'll look at it more closely.
So, as you look through it, you do get to notice something odd. It does mention persons of unique and undefined constitution.
I imagine Sapphire's just kind of glancing over Lesla's shoulder because she's curious.
Oh,
Like,
I see that, and I immediately kind of look towards Venali, then look back, and I'm like, that's ticked off. A glowing elf, unique and undefined.
but can he also heal?
Rangers do get healing spells.
We don't know what he is.
We don't know what he is. He just said
It's
something. He said some weird thing.
No. I imagine we have some idea because he
Nope,
had to
we
tell
don't.
the tavern keep.
No,
No.
he again.
We listened to him.
We listened to.
Describe it.
You listen. It was. He's good with a sword.
He's a weird type of spell singer.
Yeah.
Weird singer.
Yeah.
He knows magic.
Which Lessla would know what that is.
Yeah, I would know what that is. The fact that he says weird, it, like, puts, like...
Basically, he literally just said, I'm a gish, and we all had to just guess which gish he is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I got unique and undefined constitution. That's checked off the list.
We got healer.
We got healer. We got other forms of aid. Is there anything else on it?
so it closes off with kind of something that you'd expect from those who follow Illustrae, the misfits and the outcasts, and those who wish for better life are always welcome.
Oh, Corvus, check.
You were already checked off. That was Sapphire and Lessla with that
double
last
checked.
bit. You got double. Yeah.
Double check, motherfucker.
All right. Well. I'm gonna roll up the paper, put it in a case, and look to Sapphire and say, I have a feeling I'm going to have a very, very annoying experience with the followers of Illustray.
What makes you think it's going to be annoying?
So, go ahead and roll me a history check if you want to, Lessla.
Yeah.
True.
To see if you know a little bit more about this matron of the church.
That's a 17.
So, yeah. She's probably the oldest person in Waterdeep,
Mm-hmm.
being herself a full-blooded drow elf. And one of very few, if the only you know of, who has the distinction of being chosen by two separate deities,
Oh.
both Illustray and Mistra.
Mm-hmm.
That
Well,
is why
notably
I'm gonna be
the-
annoyed.
Yeah, notably the youngest of what was called the Seven Sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and the only one who's currently still around.
Yeah. Lessla will just say, let's just say, do you know how I feel about the followers of Mistra?
Yes, I was wondering why you were saying things while we were entering the House of Wonder.
I don't like followers of Mistra. How do you think I feel about chosen of Mistra?
Well, she's clearly chosen Elistray if she's, at the Temple of Elistray.
She's chosen by both.
But she herself has chosen more so to be the chosen of Elistray more so than Mistra.
That was a sentence.
I know.
That is not how being chosen works. And Lessla will give a very sarcastic thumbs up as she starts to walk away from the board.
Sapphire just shrugs like, I don't pretend to know this stuff.
If you want to look over anything more, then that's up to you.
I'm curious if there's anything that would require Sapphire's skill set, but that's about it.
There are quite a few that require those deft of hands and fleet of foot.
Any interesting, or are they just like
They are all very vague.
that checks out?
That checks. Also a little like snake winged serpent at the bottom.
One of them does have a serpent-style mark. You don't recognize it, though.
I was about to say, I recognize it. Okay.
No, you just know that there is a serpent-type mark on it.
Okay.
Trust it.
I'm not trusting any of these, honestly.
Venali, is there anything you're looking for on here?
Is there any mention of a dragon?
Very bold.
There is one who is looking for information on fairy dragons. And you can tell this was posted by, say, a naturalist or other chronicler of some sort, who just seems to be looking for someone who can observe them and get him some first-hand information. Like, he goes into great detail about what exactly he's looking for, what type of fairy dragon. There's almost a research paper on it, but that's about it.
That doesn't seem like it'd be terribly helpful.
Not for what you're looking for, no.
Is there anything else in there that catches my eye? I don't know.
There are a couple in there that you can tell were definitely posted by a dwarf of some distinction. Basically, dwarves have a very definite way they write things. It's very neat, very correct. It's if you've ever seen an engineer's handwriting, it looks like they typed it out. That's how dwarves write. There's maybe a little bit of flair, but you can tell that's who was likely writing this. Also, some of the ones that have things like Stonejaw on them as the name, yeah, that's probably a dwarf.
If you have
Do any of them pay well or seem interesting? Are they just dwarven?
They're mostly material gathering.
I see.
Yeah. Most of them want some kind of rare material, either alchemical or mineral in nature, that they just don't have access to in Waterdeep. Or not easy access to it.
Or legal.
There's nothing openly asking for illegal stuff.
Openly.
No, that's
Yeah.
probably
I
the
think-
very vague, deft hands.
There are some that you can probably guess. If you took them, it might be less than legal, but there's nothing that openly says, hey,
Yeah.
this
No.
stuff is banned, get me
Yeah.
it.
Shady McBlackcloak walks up to the Adventurers Guild. Yes, I'd like to issue
Yeah.
a decree for a crime.
They try to keep themselves as a reputable organization.
That's what the
So-
Thieves Guild is for.
Yes.
His guild works alongside the Adventurers. They don't talk about it.
Well,
If they do, that knowledge is not made public.
I will point out the various bounties and contracts and what have you to the other two that are here and
well, we left.
ask them if we should... Oh, wow.
This I would assume this is all going on simultaneously.
Oh, it could.
That's what I was thinking. But...
Okay. Simultaneously, what are you pointing out then?
the dwarven contract. Like, I don't know, should we take any of these?
I guess I'll investigate the dwarvish contracts to see if there's anything that is more exciting than pick up iron ingot here, take it to forge over here.
So none of them are quite like that. What they are asking you to go out and they are requesting you to fetch pelts or minerals, gemstones, or sometimes they are asking you to go to specific areas to bring back mithril or some other such. None of them are actually for mithril, but there are similar ores on there. There is several commissions for cold iron.
I
It was a
think
fucking mithril mine location, Shadow. Don't be a pussy.
he
I'm
heard
sorry,
me
Shadow.
light up.
That was a little bit mean. I don't want to be smited by God.
Look, mithril's the first rare metal that came to mind.
Yeah,
But
no, I get it.
at the same time, dwarves have ready access to that. They're not asking people to go get it for them.
You know what? Is anyone asking for deep crystal?
There are none.
Alright.
There are some that are asking for specific types of crystal that you do know have magic uses to them and can be enchanted very well, but none asking for deep crystal.
That's sad. Alright, well, I'll say it's like, unless you need a specific material for something you wish to craft, they may not be worth it. It would give us a location. We could grab some extra for ourselves. But otherwise, it's more just hunting animals, getting pelts. Is there anything, like, especially interesting in the pelts? Like, are they asking for a chimera pelt?
There are a couple that are asking for drake pelts, but that's about as interesting as it gets.
Alright, boy, it's been a fun time.
I have a feeling at
Specifically,
least 3 people will attack you if you attack a boy.
the specific one that they are asking for is what is called a hive drake.
Would I have any idea on what the fuck that is?
Yes, I won't even make you roll for it. A hive drake is a very common type of drake. It's a lesser drake, not a greater drake. It is used as mount sometimes as a large creature, but what it does, and why it's called a hive drake, is in its throat it has a very sweet sort of nectar that it produces in a throat gland, and will entice stinging insects to inhabit that, which it can then use as a pseudo breath weapon.
Can we have
That's
one of the
metal
pets?
as fuck.
I want I want it now.
Okay, look.
They
Corvus
are
I-
apex predators, and they are not
Apex.
found in the near vicinity of Waterdeep.
Yeah. Well, you know, we
Steal
can.
egg.
That's what the plan was. We go hunt one down, then we steal the eggs, and then in 5 or so years, we'll have flying Drake mounts.
They do in fact fly, yes.
Buzz.
I figured they fly, considering that they have a pseudo breath weapon.
Wait, they're a lesser drake
You
and they
could
can fly?
cultivate the most
Yes.
painful.
I thought
This one
lesser
just
Group of
doesn't get big enough
bugs.
and doesn't have a breath weapon.
I see it. I know the ambush.
Cheese could cultivate the most horrible collection of bugs to put
Also,
in a hive drake.
sell it. We sell it. Honey.
What was that?
We could sell the nectar, yes.
Still negative.
But that's really about it
Anyways.
for dwarven stuff.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Well, unless we want to go out of Waterdeep, which I think we're all kind of bound to Waterdeep for one reason or another at the moment.
Here's you.
You have your forest.
That's not in Waterdeep. That's out a couple hours away.
Inside the walls.
Anyway, let's anyway, but I think the quest that I grabbed should be plenty for us to occupy ourselves with while we're within the city. We'll just have to check here regularly for anything else that's interesting. And
That
then
reminds me, Corvus, you picked up
Okay.
a quest in the tavern proper, right?
Once.
What's that one about?
Lost child.
Want any help with that? Because Sapphire knows she's not going to be useful at all in this Elistray thing.
How good are you at track?
Let me look at my survival skill really quick. I'm okay at it. I've got a 5.
Alright. Extra as we. I would miss this morning, so the track should be.
Relatively
Easy.
fresh, yeah.
And so.
I've also found this, and Lessla will pull from the case the I guess it would be a bounty. It's not really, but that's what I'm so used to calling them, just bounties.
Contract.
Contracts,
Quest.
bounties, quests. I'm not calling it a quest. I'm not calling it a quest.
It's a side quest.
I'm not calling it a fucking quest.
Not in character, anyway.
Anyway, this contract, I believe that it would be the matron of the Temple of Illustray is asking for assistance, healers and other people who can provide aid, as well as those of
So
unusual.
I should I should clarify this for you. The Temple of Illustray that is in Waterdeep is very large.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is not necessarily the matron of it, but someone in the clergy.
Okay.
It is large enough to where there are numerous individuals who could. It is not quite on par with the House of Wonder, but it's close.
All right.
I have a
Well,
question, Shadow.
Yes?
Because I know from researching the forest, the Waterdeep forest, there is like a sacred site to Illustray there.
Mm-hmm.
Would Corvus know anything about Illustray?
Tangentially.
but
She doesn't know anything about Alistair.
I know
She's never
a Drow. I
she's
know
never
she's a
seen
You
Drow.
know
a
she's a drow goddess, you know she's not...
Evil.
You know that she is the one who's responsible for there being more drow on the surface.
But they're also asking for those of unusual and she will make sure that she puts in her voice, and I quote, undefined constitutions.
I looked down at the Drake.
Boy.
Boy is currently rolling in the grass.
I'm unusual.
Never change, Marin.
Well,
I
you're
don't
the
plan on it.
well, you're the main thing that they're asking for. They're asking for people that are skilled in healing magics.
Wow. That should be easy enough.
Hmm.
Will you be plowing? Break.
Hmm.
Well, he has a pretty sturdy constitution. And I don't believe he's caught his type of common around these parts. So
I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's the sort of interesting constitution that they're looking for.
I've seen this man. I have seen this Drake eat things that would make anyone sick and walked off like it was nothing.
So you're expecting him to be no better than a leech for these people?
He is no lead. I believe that I don't know what they're planning, but if they plan to hurt Drake here, I imagine one of you would step in. Or am I wrong in that assumption?
It is a temple of Illustre. It is unlikely they are meaning to do any harm to anyone they are contracting.
I'm more than happy to go.
Well, Lessla says, kind of makes a weird face as she says, "The only reason I thought it might interest us is because of you, Miss Cheese. You're the only one of us that can cast healing magic in a consistent manner."
I'll have to prepare my spells over tonight, but I can certainly do it.
Prepares a healing
Hey.
spell.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm planning on doing.
Alright.
But, yes, I'd love to.
Alright.
I'll see what information I can glean as well.
Lessla will roll up the contract and put it back in the case.
Can I make an insight on Lessla?
Sure.
What are you trying to gain?
I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm picking up weird vibes, but Lessla seems annoyed about something.
Isn't that Lesla's like base state?
Yeah, but I feel like it's more than normal.
I think she's just annoyed that Cheese doesn't have any healing spells prepared right now, so he can't go to Illustrate right now.
I don't know. I'm inciting.
Alright.
If that's okay with the player.
I'm fine with it.
Less than 10.
Lessla is a teenager.
He was actually he's like he always is.
Would you want to come with me, or would this be something I do on my own?
I would imagine that it would be best if more than one of us from the party went. At the very least, the one with the strangest constitution should go, and that would be Venali. But it is undefined, so I was planning on going as well.
Corvus and Sapphire, you're going to do... Oh, you're going to help the child now.
Yes.
I think the quicker we start looking, the we better chance we have a phantom. If we're done here, I'd like to set off immediately.
Fine with me.
I just want to take a look at the Arcanist after see what's in that shop.
Well, I don't believe you need us here, but if you find anything that could be useful,
I will send Klaus.
of course.
Catch me crying in the club. Something completely unrelated just happened, my bad.
Oh,
You're good.
Of course, begins
If
to
anyone
leave.
has any further questions about the area around them, they are welcome to ask them as
Of
well.
course, begins to leave.
I'm following.
Yep. I guess
Goodbye, random lady with pretty dress.
She gives you a nod.
I will.
I don't know who she is.
Venali, what are you doing? Nice.
Apparently zoning the fuck out.
Sorry, I've been working on group projects all day. My head is gone. What did you ask me again?
What is Venali doing? Do you need me to refresh you on what's here?
Sure.
So there is a forge and smith shop. Though they don't appear to be doing much right now. But they seem open, they just don't seem active. A tavern and the Arcanist shop are all open here.
I'll go to the forge shop.
Okay. Alright. So that's what Venali's doing. We'll take that first, so that night you have some time to do something.
Yippee.
So I'm gonna go ahead and reveal this whole area for you.
Need to find my fucking coconut.
I moved you up here.
Okay.
You're at the top of the map.
Like,
There
I
you
don't
go.
feel like I left myself. I don't feel like I
Where's
left
Venali
myself.
going? The blacksmiths?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where Venali's going, yes.
No, just for notes.
I see so many
So-
horseshoes.
Upon entering, there's really only two individuals in here. They're both dwarves. And they are currently working away at making something. One of them you recognize bearing the symbol of Moradin on his shoulder. The other one you can't tell if he has any symbols.
Is there anything happening in here?
They're just forging away. They don't really take notice of you as you open the door. There's only the two of them in here at the moment. Most of the forges are cold, but these two are active.
Alrighty. I will walk in.
And this is the one with the Moradin symbol on his shoulder.
Let me see if there's any equipment I need and can maybe afford, so I could just ask them about. No, there's nothing I need and can afford. Okay.
So they have some very nice stuff in here. What you do notice that stands out, it's kept kind of towards it's not this one right here, but there is towards the back. They do have like weapons lining the walls back here. There is one very prominently displayed. It is a set of mithril full plate that looks to be exquisitely crafted.
Neat, but I'm not an armor guy, so I'll walk over and look over at the dwarf and say, hello, what exactly are you two working on?
It is a poor dwarf that doesn't spend it every day in the forge. So, I spend my day in the forge.
I see. I more so meant what weapons or armor are you forging currently?
Whatever strikes my fancy. It is not what you make that's important. It is the making of it. So it is Moradin.
This is true.
Are you familiar with his teachings?
Yes, I was raised in a The easiest way to explain it is a tribe that worshipped Moradin, or worships Moradin.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Why is this a persuasion check? It's just the truth.
Because it's an elf.
Because it's
You're
not
an
a
elf.
deception.
He finds it
Because
hard
it's
to.
not a deception. You have to.
Yeah.
This is why
It's
it's really-
convincing him of something that is true. Therefore, it's not
He
deception.
he thinks you're yanking his chain.
Yeah, I mean, he can think whatever he wants, I guess.
Yeah, you can. Just don't.
That's not
Okay.
Well,
funny.
actually, he believes me.
Okay. He looks you up and down, looks at the sword on your hip, and slowly nods. Never thought I'd meet an elf so wise, he says with a grin.
Well, I mean, that's what happens, I suppose. He just kind of shrugs. He doesn't really know how to respond to that. Say that mithril armor on the wall back there. Did you make it?
Aye,
It's an astounding piece of work. Where did you find all the mithril for it?
took a long time, it did. Most of it comes from other dwarven kingdoms. If you know the right people, they can send you what you need. And I happen to know the right people.
I see. I would definitely love to get my hands on some mithril. I've been looking to upgrade my sword. I'm not much of a armor person. I tend to just wear clothing, but I can appreciate the craftsmanship nonetheless.
Mithril's a very challenging substance to work with. Takes many years to learn how to do it right. True metal, we call it.
I would love to learn, although where I come from, there's not much mithril to go around. Not really
Ain't that a shame?
any mithril to go around.
But I can see plenty of steel. He gestures towards your blade.
Oh yes, and he'll draw his sword and set it on the table.
Remind me,
Uh,
it's
It
steel
is
and
a
silver, correct?
it is a silver longsword. Yep.
Silver, okay. Silver. Not a common metal to make weapons. Very hard to work with. Very hard to make sturdy enough.
It
But you seem to have done a good job.
it was not easy. I will say that.
Don't know many a smiths who would even dare try. Mostly just coat it in the stuff. And only then to hunt were creatures. Lycanthropes and the like.
Well, for my people, it's something of a well, not specifically silver, but it's something of a rite of passage. You see, obviously we're elves, but a long time ago, we had seen or we had met it with a traveling uh a traveling missionary of Moradin and became friends with them, worked with them for a long time, and learned their culture. In eventually, after breaking off and doing our own thing, we decided to reject the elven gods. We were enslaved for a long time. And so we consider making a weapon or similar piece of forged craft like this the creation of your dwarven soul, as our elven souls are inseparable from us regardless.
I can't say I've ever heard of anyone forging for that reason. Or anyone forging quite like you do. I can see the influence of dwarven craftsmanship. Expertly imitated and seamlessly fused. Not just with Elven, but there's something else about it too. Something I'm not quite familiar with.
That would be the Infernal. We were slaves for the Blood War. Long time ago.
I must say, lad, your story's real hard to believe, but you say it so earnestly.
I find it very odd that you don't know about this. I mean, I guess we really don't come to the mortal plane often. Kind of stick to our...
You're one of those travelers coming to hear about the dragon, what those folk heard about.
Yes,
Claim they
actually.
saw a bunch of drunks, if you ask me.
Ah. Well, we used
I
to
heard
have...
the happiness in his voice die.
We had a deal a long time ago with a dragon, so a number of us were sent in to see if it's still held, but I've not yet seen any.
I've heard that one of the individuals claims he saw the thing. Again, likely a big lizard seen by a drunk, if you ask me. Maybe a drake if he was lucky. I've heard he spends time in the tavern. Occasionally.
Thank you. That will actually very helpful. I actually have one last question for you.
Aye.
Would
Are you
you...
prepared to die? Sorry.
Why would I ask him that?
I don't know.
That makes no sense. Am I just gonna
My name
kill
is
this
Inigo
man?
Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I mean,
I'm
it's
tired.
death is always an option.
That's just... I don't understand why I'd do that. Anyway, would you mind selling me any mithril? I imagine it's not something you'd want to do, but I've been looking for some for a while, and as you can imagine, not exactly being from this realm makes it hard to acquire.
Roll persuasion, but with advantage.
Let's go. Rolling a nat one twice on my way.
No, the funnier thing would be a nat 1 and a nat 20. Oh, you rolled 19.
Okay.
It was very close.
True metal is very hard to get your hands on. I don't have any with me at the moment. But if I can get a new shipment in, I'll keep you in mind.
Thank you.
Now, bear in mind, I appreciate hearing from you. I appreciate getting to speak with you. But I can't be giving you a discount.
I understand. It's not something easy to come by.
That, my lad, is the understatement of the millennium.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
He's has on her person at all times a mithril rapier. Would Venali have noticed that?
Probably not while it was sheathed.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Is it in
Okay,
a sword
'cause it is-
frog or is it an actual sheath? A
It
sword
has an
frog is
actual
when the
sheath.
I
blade
don't
is
know,
just out.
I
It
was
has an
only
actual
given a
sheath.
sword.
Yeah.
Mithril,
mithril
you
rapier.
don't just
Does
just
have
let mithril hang
a sheath?
free and clear. You
Okay.
keep it well maintained, so it
So-
does have a sheath.
Same with the dragon gold daggers.
Wouldn't-
Well, the Dragon Gold
so-
daggers, those actually have a thing where they're designed to show because they are enchanted to never rust.
Ah, fun.
So they are designed to show and be a symbol. For that reason, they do have more of just like
Okay,
a slot
I was just
they slide
wondering.
into. If it were enchanted as such, then that was possible. But for actual mithril, no, you take much better care of it.
So yeah, no, he would not know then. I was assuming it was just in a sword frog, because that's how most people do their swords in D&D for some reason.
Well, it's easier to pull it out.
Especially if you're wearing it over the back, which many adventurers do.
For some reason.
Well, it's easier. It's easier to keep it out of the water and such, especially if you're trudging through a lot of mud.
Baldur's
Keep it out
Gate
of the way.
3, all weapons are on your back. Even the rapiers.
Hate it here. Anyway.
Cheese has her rapier sheathed like a normal rapier.
Yeah. Okay. Then no, I would not know. And even if he did know, he would probably just assumed you earned it somehow, and not question it, because he has no idea how this world works. Literally.
And she doesn't either, so.
Hell yeah.
Corvus does, but he pretends he doesn't.
It was-
And Lessla doesn't, but she pretends she does.
The perfect party composition.
Anyway, was there anything else you wanted to do up here, Venali?
There's nothing I'd want to buy from him, and nothing I can afford, so... no.
Okay. Will you be making your way to the tavern or somewhere else?
I'll go to the tavern, I guess.
Alright. So before we continue with you, though, I'm going to get back to Lessla, as you want to go the Arcanist.
Correct.
Alright.
He's
So I'm going to
just
go
going
ahead
for
and
Lessla.
reveal that down here. It's down in the bottom left corner. So, there we are. So you see the one seems to be a middle-aged gentleman working on it. He does have some magic equipment about his person, but just by watching him, you can tell that he is not a practitioner of the art, at least not in the traditional way. You might call him an artificer, but that might not even be accurate.
Mhm.
He's currently fiddling with a little glass orb here on the table.
Yep. As Lessla comes in, she folds her hands behind her back and clears her throat.
Oh, one moment. He turns to you, and you can see he's got a piece of it's like magnifying equipment, that has the multiple lenses. There's about 15 on this one, all of which are currently down. He quickly goes through and flips them all in very rapid succession, brings them off of his face so he can get a clear look at you, and fastens a monocle back on the other eye.
As he's doing that,
God.
looking at this,
I love this man.
what looks to be an enchantment circle in the center of the room, could I identify what the origin of the runes are in it?
Yes. Go ahead and roll me a should be an Arcana.
I don't know what a coughing check is. Shadow.
Arcana.
Alright.
No advantage
He's
this time.
just looking around.
It would not.
Looking all over.
Okay, that's a 23.
So these are giant.
Oh, I know that language.
Mm-hmm. So they're not written in the language, but you recognize the rune. This is runic magic he's currently working with.
As he's preparing, Les will make a comment. Says, "Did you learn the runic magic firsthand, or is it something passed to you from another?"
Oh, studied. Very long time. Very hard to do. But a very important process to learn. Runic magic is one of the most ancient forms practiced still on this plane.
I imagine so. Runesmithing is quite important to an adventurer's life.
Yes, indeed. And applying it to the practical everyday uses is a vital next step in its evolution. For example, this one I am attempting to harden this lock with some precise runic incantations, shall we say. So far, the results have proven less than desirable, and sometimes even destructive. But that is progress. You fail several times before you succeed.
Lessla will just think it says, "What's the current process you're thinking? What you're trying to use?"
Well, several of the runes that would normally increase constitution or enchant armor, particularly with durability and what would be the best way to describe it? It's close to scrying in order to identify the key. Make forgeries and skeleton keys less practical and all but useless if it works out. However, the two have not been playing well with each other for the moment.
And now I need to check something real quick. What the fuck is telekinesis?
Transmutation.
What type of magic?
Transmutation.
Transmutation? Have you thought of using transmutation magic?
I will say,
Yes?
What?
Yes, Cheese?
Cheese?
Yep.
I think she's dying. Megatron? I'll have Megatron.
oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were referring to me.
Yes.
Oh god. Am I dying? Am I dead?
Oh,
No,
you're.
we can hear
I'm
you
dead.
now.
It,
I can hear you.
it sounds like you're delayed about 5 seconds.
Oh, damn it. Basically, I was just saying, is there anything that Mr. Cat uses for shinies or odd trinkets? Am I really so far behind? Oh my god, hold on.
Oh, it's actually like 8 seconds. Maybe 10.
No, it's more like 10. I'm gonna leave the call and come back and see what happens.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
Oh wait, now it's back!
It's back. It is back.
Oh.
Yeah, it came back
There we
right
go.
there.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, my
So,
bad. I'm so sorry. I don't know what
No, it's
happened.
okay. It's not your fault. Is there anything that would catch Cheese's eye for shinies? Yes. Many glass balls. All with various colors. Some of them with mist swirling inside them. Some of them is faintly glowing.
He turns into a cat, just starts knocking them off the shit.
There are also
No,
a
Cheese-
few small gemstones scattered around the room.
Cheese looks like she has the eyes of. There is just like a. It's not necessarily hunger, but it is a want to touch the shinies and look at the shinies. And she just like looks to Lessla and looks at the shinies and looks back to Lessla and looks back at the shinies.
I will, in order to keep Cheese from going off and touching everything, I will grab Cheese's hand and keep her by my side.
Oh.
Goddamn child at heart. I swear to God.
One that doesn't understand the
Not at
concept.
heart, but in mind as well.
You're right.
Yeah. Cheese's face is a little like it turns a little bit red at that.
But,
grabbing of her hand.
You ask him about transmutation magic, and he kind of waves you off. That was one of my first attempts, yes, but it wound up having a more detrimental effect on the lock than was desirable. Accidentally transmuting the lock into wood did not have the desired effect, and attempting to transmute it into something sturdier or transmute the key upon entry produced far more chaotic results.
Instead of transmuting the lock itself, what if you used a minor form of telekinetic magic? And when the runes match up inside the lock, it forces the individual pins to rise into the proper location for it to turn.
is an interesting idea. How would one keep out a skeleton key or forgery designed to press them in?
Well, it would be is that the runes are only half complete on the key. It is only when the runes touch, by being completed on the pins, that they rise into the right position.
That require another rune to prevent mundane means from interacting with it.
Well,
But that could be a viable solution.
I'm sure a rune of abjuration would be able to work. Something to lock the pins in place.
I'll have to investigate such runes. I'm not sure they're any that relate to, as you say, but I'm sure it could be developed. It's exciting. You give me something to think about. Miss...
Lessla will give a slight curtsy and says, Lady Silverster.
I am Turius. It is a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine. It is always fond to meet someone that is versed in arcane arts, no matter how esoteric they may be. This...
Please get out of my Chick-fil-A sauce.
Lessla will gesture to Cheese, letting go of her hand for a moment. This is my compatriot, Miss Bleu Cheese.
Cheese will do a little curtsy.
I will be right back.
Mm-hmm.
I can assure you I have no problems with those who choose to partner in unconventional manners. You do not need to be so concerned around myself.
Lessla now looks confused.
Yeah, he kind of turns back to the tinkering on this lock. Did you have anything else that you required my services for?
Yes. I do have a weapon that
I am back. I am so sorry.
Ow.
The only thing you missed was him saying, Lessla called Cheese a compatriot. He said, I have nothing against those who partner in such unconventional manners. You do not need to
and
account for myself.
Lessla was confused.
Cheese is also confused.
Yes, I was meaning to do it myself, but I have not had the time nor the materials to research it myself, unless we'll pull out the knife that has the illusion steeped on it. I thought it might be interesting to get someone else's opinion on this object. And she'll present it to him.
He moves over to this table and gestures you over. He gently places the knife on a little stand he has here and looks it over. He pulls out a few little alchemical ingredients and begins to mix them together in a little mortar and pestle he has on hand. After crushing them up into a fine paste, he sort of like brushes it along the edge of the blade, as well as a little bit across the handle, before reaching into his pocket, pulling out a sprinkle of some kind of dust and gently tossing it over the thing. After which it begins to glimmer for a moment. And he scratches his head a little bit. Well, it's unlike anything I've seen before. It is certainly a foul magic in some regard. Though I cannot tell precisely what it is for. It is buried very deeply within the blade. and within multiple layers of magic to conceal precisely what it is. But it does not seem to have any significant level of power about it.
I fear that this weapon is more of a tool to activate more darker magics. You see, was confiscated from members of the Cult of the Dragon.
You can see his eyebrows raised a little bit as you say that, and he looks back to it. I doubt it would serve any sort of function as you say. It does not seem to have the required magics about it. What I see are illusion, primarily, and very heavily necromancy. Though I cannot discern the necromancy due to the illusion. And there is some enchantment about it as well, but that's to be expected.
The enchantment basically binding the other two magics to the blade itself.
Precisely, though there is a bit more to it than that. In this case, anyway.
Well, I do not know if it would. At which point Lessla looks to the man and says, "Do you have a pearl for identification in here?"
I do not. However, my associate across the courtyard, that is more his wheelhouse, but I believe he is on leave today.
Understandably. Well, Lessla will pick the blade back up and put it in her clothing once more. I thank you for your insight.
And I thank you for yours. Would you happen to be new to the guild? I don't recall seeing you around before.
I first joined about a month and a half ago. It was a quite large altercation with the Cult of the Dragon being the reason that I was allowed back here.
I see. They've become more active around the realms, though this is the first I've heard of it here. Ever since the reported sighting.
I can only imagine.
We've removed some bad actors from their number here before, attempting to gain access to that which they were.
Well,
Well, we would prefer them not to have.
no, I let go to introduce you.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
No, Cheese is just standing there, and she's now holding her hands to her chest.
I'd hold my hands if I don't have hands.
Yes, Lessla and this. He actually is an arcanist. Like, that is the proper word for him. He actually is an arcanist. Well, Lessla and the arcanist have been basically speaking in an unknown language to Cheese this entire time.
Yeah, he kind of steps back over. Actually, I have trouble believing they would see such a creature. The stories that I've heard from the individual don't paint the best picture of their character. But they are well respected. And perhaps I am not as insightful as I used to be.
Well, there's always a hint of truth in any story.
Yes, I suppose that you're right. And I suppose I cannot take the drunken ramblings they speak of in the tavern so seriously. Likely a fair bit of indulgence as any fisherman or sailor would have.
Lessla nods and says, "Well, If I find anything else interesting, I will be sure to let you know. And please let me know how that the theory on the lock works out. It would be quite intriguing if there is a more permanent version of the arcane lock spell that we may be able to utilize in the future.
Yes, that is indeed the goal. And if I do come across any breakthroughs, I will be sure to let you know the next time you come in. Once again, I am greatly appreciative of your help.
Lessla just does a curtsy as she walks back to Cheese.
Cheese will curtsy in politeness as well, and she's still holding her hands like over her chest as she walks out.
Yep. Well, that was interesting.
Oh, I sort of stopped paying attention after a little bit.
And she smiles.
Lessla nods and says, I see the artifacts around the room must have been quite captivating. And she will start walking towards the tavern, because I assume that at some point we saw... Actually, we would probably see Venali walking towards there at this
He also
moment.
mentioned the drunks in the tavern talking about the dragon.
Yeah.
Would that be something you want to send Clouth after the others for? No.
I'll let them know that we'll be at the tavern, but it's letting them know that there's rumor mills in the tavern is kind of like saying water is wet.
On.
Corvus.
We do not have to have this conversation. We do not have to have
The
this
act
conversation.
of being
We
wet.
can move on. We can move on. What is it exactly that Lessla said again?
The artifacts within there must have been quite captivating.
Cheese will nod and smile. And Shadow, can I make a deception check?
Sure. Lessla, you would need to roll an insight check.
Well, let's see if it... I actually would. Fuck. Well, that was a 7.
Yeah, Cheese seems pretty honest.
I mean, I was ignoring the entire thing anyway, so this is just par for the course.
Yeah, nothing seems to be bothering Cheese whatsoever.
Yes. No, to the tavern. I'm sure a 17-year-old in tavern isn't going to cause any problems.
Oh, this is the Forgotten Realms. There is no such problems when of that age. There are probably people slightly younger than you in there.
Yes. I mean, kobolds are fully mature too, so...
I mean, humans as well, but yeah.
At 2 days.
Well, that's just when they're thrown into the wine world.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Alright.
Anyway, you and Venali are both you'll both kind of arrive at the door, or about at the split off over here at about the same time.
Yep.
And it's also about that time that Cloutha reaches Sapphire and Corvus, letting them know that they've decided that Lessla and Cheese have decided to stop at the tavern.
Okay, that can wait. And also, he didn't really tell us why they're at the tavern, so that... Okay, cool.
Lessla, I believe, did not tell him to tell them why, but if you ask him, he probably would elaborate.
We're getting loaded
Why?
bacon fries.
Oh, that sounds so fucking good, man.
Sapphire would be like, so why did Lessla feel like it was important for you to tell us she was gonna get drunk?
Again, an image of people whispering, and then a very large, very proud-looking Clouth breathing fire.
Drunkards talking about dragons. Got it. Okay.
He nods.
Want to help us
Alright.
find a lost child?
Clout, you get the image in your head. Tavern, food, hungry.
You're more than welcome to the rats. You know where they are.
He looks at you. You get the image of bacon and sausages.
I can't fault you for that. Just know that if you ever want a ratty snack, go ahead.
Was pets, Clough.
Clough leans into it. The your hairless Tressum hisses at Clough, and Clough hisses at it.
I do that because Corvus knows good spots to scratch on a draconic creature, so he starts scratching in the spots of Clough.
Mm-hmm.
Corvus, I think you're making your Tressum jealous.
Other hand comes and starts scratching the cat.
And so Boy doesn't feel jealous, I'll pet Boy.
Yeah, they're still
Aw.
the two are still glaring at each other, but they're not hissing anymore.
The problem is they're now going to be fighting over rats and the Guild and Glamour.
Anyway, once Corvus lets Clough go.
Clough flies off. So I assume you guys are still going out to do that.
Yeah, it's
Right?
important.
It's very important. There is a
What should we
missing
do?
child.
Go to a tavern to get absolutely shit-faced. Find a lost child. Shadow,
Okay,
these two are not comparable.
that's fair. That's fair.
What do you mean that's fair? Don't say it like that. You know it's fucking fair.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't see why this is a problem.
Where you agree.
All right. Anyway, Venali and Lessla, you both meet up on the path heading to the tavern.
Ah. Was there anything interesting in the forge? Headset died 1 second.
Well, there was
Yeah.
2 dwarves.
Oh. Were they talkative?
Not particularly.
I don't
I mean,
know
I
much
don't-
about
I don't know how talkative dwarves normally are.
Well, it honestly depends on, well, how late in the evening it is and which tavern you're at.
Yes, let's go.
Hmm.
Are we sure we don't want to help Sapphire and Corp?
Lessla
Hmm.
shrugs and says, even if I was interested in helping them with their objective, I do not see how I could be of any use.
Certainly.
Certainly, if Klaus wishes to join them, he's welcome to. I did send him after them. Although, knowing the pseudo-dragon, he is probably going to want to come back and try and eat anything that is on the tavern floor.
He's a rather selfish creature.
All dragons are.
I suppose that's true.
Leslie, you know that's absolutely a lie.
I know it's absolutely a lie. But all the
Cheese doesn't.
all the good
She
dragons,
does not know.
all the best dragons are selfish creatures.
Yeah, you all head to the tavern. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and reveal that for you all.
Yo, Revelations? Just like my.
Yeah.
Assassin's
Look in
Creed
the Bible.
Revelations?
Yeah, there's there's one group in particular that seems to be getting a lot louder than the other. Who I will go ahead and ping their table. Everyone
I
also seems to
figured
be
it
leaving
would
them well enough alone. Leslie, roll me a perception check.
Do I really need to roll perception check? I recognize the person.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh.
No.
Alright, I'll roll perception.
Oh no.
That's a 6. I literally
That's still
see
enough
him.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still enough for you.
Yep. Seeing that, Lesla's going to look at Cheese and say, will you stay here for a moment? Or, well, you can go sit down. I need to go speak to someone.
Okay. Cheese will just like awkwardly sit at the closest table,
Okay.
and she's watching whatever is going on here,
So
though.
you sit next to the lady with the
extremely
giant
carefully.
great sword on her hip.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, on her hip.
I love her already. Yeah, Cheese just sits down and she's watching Lessla and whatever is going on here extremely carefully.
Lessla, as you're heading over, you hear the tiefling, the well-muscled tiefling woman over here. Oi, barkeep! One more!
Mm-hmm. Right now,
Louder than anything else in the tavern.
Lessla has tunnel visioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this fellow is sitting here, sipping on something in his cup in front of him. Hasn't noticed you yet.
Lessla will just cross her hands in front of her. Cheese can tell she is absolutely peeved. As she
Absolutely what?
peeved.
Okay.
As she just makes clears her throat very loudly.
He doesn't, respond at first.
Oh. Of all the times, she made a noise before trying to figure out what to say. That's not going to. She's trying not to cause a scene, but at the same time, she's doing her.
Causing a scene?
Yeah. Lessla takes a deep breath and says, "Of all the times you could choose to ignore me, now is not the proper time to do so."
He turns around, looks kind of confused, sees who you are, and you can see the expression change and both raise and fall simultaneously. Oh God, Lessla.
What are you doing here?
Oh, that's a bit more of a complicated question to answer than you probably think it is. Would you care to have a seat, sister?
Yes, I will sit.
He swallows hard and kind of tugs on his collar a little bit.
How long ago did you get into Waterdeep?
No, only a week ago. I didn't know you were here.
That is understandable. I did more or less leave without telling anyone where I was going. Why are you not back at the castle?
You know as well as anyone that I don't want to be there. They don't really seem to care if I leave, so I did. I know how to get out well enough.
Yes, I know you know how to get in and out of the castle. It was quite a fancy pastime of yours when we were children.
I technically still am a child.
Lessla just kind of makes a face and says, "Be that as it may, you are here and you're in this tavern. How did you convince your mother to let you leave?"
I didn't.
Does anyone know where you are?
No, and I really hope to keep it that way.
Look, I will not stop you from doing whatever it is you're doing. Although, judging by the fact you're here, it's safe to assume that you're doing something quite dangerous.
Well, I'm not doing anything on my own, if that's what you're concerned about. I'm not quite tough enough for that.
I figured as much. It is quite difficult to make money on your own in a place where you know no one. Look, I will let you do what you wish to do. But when I get called back home, you're coming with me.
No, I'm not, sister. This fellow walks up to you pretty much right after he says that. Ah, Nemo. Is this a friend of yours?
Lessla will turn to him and let him introduce her.
Yes, this is Lessla. She's, Before he finishes, you hear once again from the left tiefling woman. Oi, Nemo! Bring your new girlfriend over here. Have her hang out with us.
You just hear Cheese stand from the other side of the tavern.
You know, I'm gonna.
Nemo looks about as bright red as he possibly could.
Lessla looks unenthused.
Venali leans over to Cheese and whispers, I don't know what's going on. I'm very
I don't
confused.
like it. I really don't like what's going on. Excuse me, random lady I sat next to.
And Cheese is
At this point, Cloud has returned, and he's gone to you first, Cheese, as you happen to be closer to where there's some actual food, and Lesla's by the loud person who doesn't have food.
Well, there's a
He looks
person
at
over
you.
there that is making Lessla angry. Who is it? The dark-haired one, him.
Which dark-haired one?
Explain the dark-haired one. There's two.
the one that she was talking to.
So this guy, probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
you get a very definitive. Cloud definitely knows. That's her brother. He seems kind of
Lady
confused
Silverster
about that.
needs my assistance.
What was that?
Ask if Lady Silverster is in need of my assistance.
I think he's within range of telepathy for you, isn't he?
Yes, he is. It's 100 feet.
Yeah. So, image of Clouth triumphantly bursting through a door, along with a questioning look.
Lessa will just hold her hand up, signaling to stand down before.
Clouth looks back at Cheese and shakes his head.
Before looking at them and says, waiting for Nemo to finish introducing her.
Oh, no, she is, Fox, she's my sister. Ah, well, pleasure's all mine.
Lessla will stand from where she's sitting.
I do also want you to roll a insight check for me. You're the only one who really could notice this.
Cheese is just staring daggers into
That is
Okay.
22.
her brother.
So, Fox here, as you've been introduced to him, carries himself in a manner that's very familiar to you. And the way he dresses, the way he speaks, reminds you of many of the nobles back home. But with that high roll, this is someone who's maybe not trying to... He's trying to play that down.
Lessla will stand and and give a, because she's not hiding the fact that she's from a more respectful education, will do a courtesy and says is, Lady Lessla Silverster, it is a pleasure.
I am simply Fox, and it's a pleasure as well. Well, all mine, in fact. Nemo's become a great friend and compatriot of ours.
Lessla raises an eyebrow at friend because it is still a concept that is relatively new to her. As she says is, so it seems that my little brother has learned how to play nice with people. And she gives a somewhat kind of knowing look at Nemo.
Yeah, he doesn't make eye contact with you. Lessla is going to say is, I would love to join you, but my own compatriots are here, and I will rejoin them soon. And I look to Nemo, and as I say is, think about what I said. I will more than likely be called back home within a year. And when that happens, it is not unlikely that people will discover you are here. If you choose to stay, that is your own choice, and I will respect it. But despite everything, you still have responsibilities. And she'll move a little bit before saying, have a good adventure, Nemo. And please take care of him, Mr. Fox. Thank you. He gives you a nod and a bit of a bow as you leave.
Mm-hmm.
Before he goes and takes his seat to join Nemo.
Do they ever notice very angry cheese just staring daggers?
No one over here does. Lessla might.
Okay.
Lessla very much knows. This is why I was so I told you to stand down.
Klaus happily hops onto Lesla's shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Lessla looks at Cheese and says, are you alright?
I saw that he made you very angry.
He did not make me angry by what he said. His presence here has frustrated me.
Why?
He is my brother. My half-brother.
I don't see how this is annoying.
I am a noble of the Silver Marches. Even if he is my half-brother, he still has responsibilities to our family. And him being here means that, especially without telling anyone that he was going out for an adventure, means that he has all but forsook them.
I still don't understand.
Is there any... Do you have a duty to your people, Venali?
Yes.
Him being here is basically him saying that he will not do those duties.
I think I get it. I'm still not very sure on how this works. I don't understand why his duties include him not going anywhere.
It's not that they don't include him not going anywhere. If that were the case, I would still be in the Silver Marches. Is that even as a child only of my father, the men of the Silverster family have a duty to protect the Silvery Empire. He has never been one quite for martial prowess, so he would be better sought as a consular of sorts. His education is incomplete.
Well, did you ask why he's here?
I did, but we were interrupted.
Perhaps he's here to continue his education.
I do doubt it.
I could try and listen in.
No. Let him have his privacy.
As you say, my lady.
And Lessla will, I guess, sit down at this table you guys have been standing next to this entire time.
Yes.
This poor woman has no clue what the fuck is going on.
This poor woman has actually wandered off at this point.
Ah, nice.
It's caused a chain reaction of people wandering off.
It's hard to not notice the sound of her greatsword dragging along the fucking ground.
She's actually she's actually a Goliath, so
She's actually very well able to keep that from happening.
I think I'm going to go talk to your brother and see what this is all about, because I still don't fully understand this.
Oh, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Venali, please.
Why not?
It's family matters.
And?
Which means you stay out of them.
That's what that's supposed to mean. Oh, you see,
Yeah.
where I come from, it's kind of like... what's the best way to put it? It's like a small village. Like, everyone kind of just helps everyone with everything. Probably also because we live in a not great environment, but that's besides the point. I'm gonna go talk to your brother.
No, stop.
I feel like this is a problem that can be resolved by just talking to them.
It's a problem that you don't have to stick your nose in.
But I want to help.
The amount
won't be helping.
the amount that could be solved through communication has been reached. What is required now is time.
He just kind of shrugs and I guess will sit down awkwardly.
Certain that we'll find out more later on. Worst comes to worst, I can always have my own ways of listening in. Anyways, weren't we meant to talk about someone who knew something about a dragon?
On that
I
note,
rather dislike taverns.
yeah, on that note, I think that's where I'm gonna jump to the other group and what they're doing.
Yay! I thought you were gonna say we're gonna end
Finally.
it there.
No.
I was so ready to be like, yay! I did nothing.
Sapphire and Corvus go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I just need to have an
Sapphire
adventure
Eldercrow.
with Lessla and Venali now.
Oh my God,
everyone.
you're Zuko.
I want
You
my
are so
life-changing
right.
adventure.
We're having our life-changing adventure.
Hey,
Let's do
fun
this.
thing.
Yeah.
What would Corvus
So-
and
Hey.
Leslie even do?
Who's Aang?
Ah,
What about
that's a
their
great
parents?
question.
Who's the Avatar? Damn it.
That is,
Oh, it's Zuko.
you're Zuko, because we're going on a life-changing adventure.
Zuko.
If we're going by it, it would be Lesla's
Wait
the
a minute.
Avatar because Lessla and Corvus have the worst relationship.
Are you kidding me? Lessla is fucking tough. Sapphire is Sapphire is Katara, and I guess that makes Cheese Aang. And Venali
Momo.
Venali is Sokka.
Venali Sokka.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
There are boomerangs. We need to get Venali a boomerang now.
Boomerang.
Please.
Meteor sword.
Anyway,
Yes. That's his mithril
I mean, he
sword.
already kind of has
that-
that.
that's
But
okay.
anyway,
Mhm.
so you're heading out to Woby Undercliff, which is
Yeah.
out over
Very-
here.
I'm very familiar.
I am vaguely familiar. Living in the forest beyond
hmm
the Undercliff.
So it'll take you a little while.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll take a shortcut to get down the cliff.
I'm walking with them.
There is no shortcut to get down the cliff.
Shadow. Watch this.
Jump.
No,
I'm
I'll
not sure
take
I
the
can
way.
follow you.
If
thought
you
there
want
was,
to
like,
take the
handhold.
fall damage,
I
then
know.
sure.
I think don't you have slow fall?
Not till next level.
Oh.
Yeah. I know monks very well. I know you don't have that yet.
I know monks quite well, yeah.
Even if you had that, it would not save you.
Can we do some talking on the way if Corvus is willing?
Hunt.
So,
I don't have
Corvus,
any objection.
Corvus, you mentioned in my head that you were willing to help me.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to know of anything called the Guardian of the Forest, would you? It was mentioned in my dream. You
Or something like that.
perks up even more. Do you tell?
Yeah.
And of course, we're walking while this is going on.
Yeah. It's a horrible dragon-like creature that is said to, well, believed by some to protect forests.
Corvus, I will elaborate for you. You would know of so many other things that go by that moniker.
Yeah,
Some of them
that's
are
the main
people.
thing he thinks of.
Yeah.
As you said, but there are many things that actually bear that title. There's a owl bear.
Sapphire
somewhere.
kind of deflates slightly hearing that. It's like,
There's an owl bear within where I live that's supposedly a protector.
okay.
It's a general term.
I guess that makes sense. I was
Like
here I was hoping it was more of a specific title than
you
descriptor.
thought the term guardian of the forest was specific.
Well, considering in my dream the elves were calling for the guardian of the forest specifically like that. She just kind of shrugs.
What the elves look like?
I will describe them in great detail, as much detail as she can, because
What elves?
So you'd be able to tell that they would definitely be. They're high elves, yes, but they would be. No, well, not entirely high elves. They're about half high elf, half wood elf.
Hmm.
Though what type of high elf is hard to say.
Right.
They don't really resemble some ones that you've seen before.
I basically describe them to the best of my ability.
Probably from another place in Erin. Not the Sword Coast, or at least none I've heard of.
Yeah, it's kind of my, I guess, technically only lead on where my father's homeland could be.
Any other things from your dream that we could use?
I mean, I know what the birds sound like, but and she just, does a small hand wave like kind of
I'm-
waving it off, and then we hear this specific bird chirping.
I'm not gonna say I know the bird because I wouldn't, but can I determine the species? Oh, it's a
Nature
type
check,
of.
but it
Yes,
would be at
okay.
General
disadvantage.
genus.
You're trying to do it from just the sound.
Yeah,
Double net 20.
that one.
That
Oh
sounds
my
like
God.
a bird. Sounds like a bird.
Corvus, if for all
It's a
you know,
seagull.
listening to that, it could be a frog.
Oh, so
Frog,
it's
forget,
Sapphire's
it's really
problem.
hard to tell.
I'm pretty sure it was a bird. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I guess frogs live in forests, but that's
Maybe it's probably not one I'm used to.
It's probably a skunk.
Yeah, it could be, to your knowledge, any number of things. One in particular, you think it's entirely possible that's just a wailing woman, truthfully, or either a wailing woman or a man whistling at a particularly attractive one.
yeah. I kind of figured no one in our group would know, which is why I've taken to kind of doing it in populated places around town, considering we've got so many outsiders here.
Well, there's a exotic pet shop that me and Miss Cheese found. There's a bird there.
I'll give it a look. I need to get a carrier pigeon anyway to appease Jasper.
Why?
He got worried and upset I wasn't sending him letters, letting him know I was okay.
That what you were addressing whenever you had family matters?
Yes, that is exactly. Yep.
A horrible lie.
Okay, we were discussing other things too, but that was a part of it. Yes.
Don't suppose you have any other information I can use to help?
Unfortunately, not. Unless you count an extremely dense forest where you can't even see the sky, but I'm pretty sure we have some of those around here too.
They're too common. The elves are something to look into.
Yeah, I know. I just know in the dream I was the one called the Guardian of the Forest, and I was hanging out in a tree, and then I decided it would be fun to see what they wanted. And then the amusement I got from their expressions, seeing me pop right in front of them, was just great. But that's neither here nor there.
Don't worry. I have a feeling you'll find information sooner rather than later.
Well, I hope your feeling is right.
Look at the sheet. Is there an address where the parents live?
There is, yes.
Start looking there then,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
because it's better to check with them first to get some information.
Last
So you
notification and everything.
make your way over there. I want you to go ahead and roll me a perception check as you do, both of you.
Fuck.
Okay. So both of you would notice this. The area seems this time of the day people should be out and about. They're not.
Put my hand on
The
my
doors
spear.
are closed, the blinds are drawn to, and the shutters are pushed shut.
Of course, we'll shift his spear on his shoulder.
He's shifting what to his shoulder?
Shifting his spear on his shoulder so he can
Ah.
quickly launch it to his hand.
Corvus, you would know that this is because you're from this type of area. You're from this area. You would know that this is people do this when there is like whenever there's rumors like someone saw a dangerous animal, people would do this. Until the guards came around and did something about it, which
Was for a second, like remembering a little bit, kind of not relaxes, but lessens a little bit.
yeah. This basically means there's something upsetting the locals.
Okay.
So they're shutting in. Usually it's an animal. Sometimes it was a particularly unsavory individual. You remember one time a ardent cleric of Baal was on the loose, and until he was dealt with, people really kept themselves locked away.
Oh god.
Would I know of this, considering I live in the forest across the way?
No.
Or no? Okay.
You weren't
I'm too
separated.
secluded in my little forest home. Got it.
You went from middle of absolute nowhere redneck hillbilly country to the slums.
That's fair. So I never went to the Undercliff. Got it.
Often.
Fair.
I'll continue my way to the house.
I'm following.
All right. So the house in question is one of it seems a little bit older. Not especially run down, but not like it's been like the expertly maintained. Like someone's trying their best, but it is their best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing wooden.
Wood and stone.
Okay, combo.
Suppose we'll knock on the door.
I guess the door, Corvus will knock, and he's got a fucking like that knock of like that can wake a fucking household.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Corvus has one of those. Like I'm going to sell you something kind of knock.
Sapphire just whispers, "Are you expecting them to be napping while their child is missing?"
No, I was taught to know.
You hear like a lock unlatch, and the door slowly creak open to reveal you could say a middle-aged woman.
Noted, man.
Hello.
Can I help you both?
Actually, we're here to help you. From the Adventurers Guild, and I hold out the paper.
Oh, thank goodness. Please come inside.
Thank you.
Nods. Of course, that kicks his feet at the door and walks. Doesn't help much.
Sapphire is gonna do the polite thing as well, and just make sure she's not tracking at least too much dirt and mud in.
He doesn't care.
She what leads you further in and sits you down at the table. Sinok, some folks from the guild are here. After a moment, you hear some heavier footsteps come through and see what you're immediately able to recognize as a Shadar Kai take a few steps into the house and look at you. He seems equally concerned as a
Understandably
woman in
so.
front of you.
Middle-aged woman and a shadow Kai. Do they look like husband and wife, or does it look more like no? They're just related to some family.
Considering that he leads her to the sofa across from the two seats they've sat you in and puts his arm around her, you can guess that they're married.
An elf and a human.
In Waterdeep, it's not unheard of.
I know. It's just a sad relationship.
Are they gonna start talking, or are we gonna have to
Yeah,
ask?
of course, waits like a little bit too
Yeah, no,
long. A little bit too long. He's not sure
so,
what he's going to do.
so it's the man, Sanuk, who begins speaking. You are from the guild?
We are.
I thank you for accepting our request.
course.
Well, as I'm sure you've probably read, our boy went missing a few days ago. Out playing in the field, and we're not sure.
The field. There's a multitude.
Yeah, so there's fields all around Undercliff. It
Yeah,
is
it's a
largely a farming community. So
I know on the cliff, it's a gang of like small homesteads and villages, and most of them are farms.
yes, where you are is seems to be a small farming community.
Yeah.
The guards haven't been able to do much, as well. We don't have any information ourselves.
But they've been out.
What was that?
But they've been out looking.
They've looked, but there's only so much they can do. They don't know the area there. Truthfully, more concerned with matters inside the city.
I know that. Go.
My faith in them is far from absolute.
The course nods.
Sapphire's also nodding.
Picture of the child on the, or is it like a poor?
Oh, there is one. Yes.
Okay.
If you were to take a look at him, you might guess he was a half drow or half moon elf, but
No,
he's
no
definitely a half elf.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He, if you had to guess, is about 9 or 10, somewhere in that
Okay.
area.
Damn.
So this isn't like a little
Old enough to
kid.
wield a dagger, but not old enough to wield it well.
Yeah, old enough to know better than to go
Yeah.
running off.
Mhm.
What a weird way to classify a child. Old enough to wield a
Do
dagger.
you remember who
not
you're
old enough
talking
Corvus is
to
in
about?
wield it
character.
well.
Remember who you're talking about.
Corvus is in character.
Um,
You're either talking to Ruford, who's from Northern Ireland, or you're talking to Corvus, who lived in the woods. Either way, that's an understandable way to describe somebody.
you said a couple days ago.
Yes.
Is there anything at the place where he went missing? Prince.
Nothing. Wheat that we were in the midst of, well, not harvesting it, but preparing it for that, and
No trail of any kind.
none.
Well, that's good. No way. No threats against you. No one you've made and angry at yourselves.
No, he was simply walking with me by the stream, though about 10 paces or so back. At one point, I looked up and he was no longer there.
A stream.
A small brook that runs through the field.
You show us where?
Hmm?
You show
Oh
us
yes,
where?
let me show you where. He nods and very quickly stands up.
Before we leave quickly, I would like if you have some item of him. A scent can be very useful.
Yes, of course. He walks off and comes back with a little piece of fabric.
Corvus puts it to Prince's nose.
Prince refuses to sniff it.
Boy, you're up.
Put up the boy.
Boy sniffs it eagerly, begins inhaling.
Corvus also takes a sniff.
Okay.
Then he offers it to Sapphire.
Sapphire just shakes her head, like, I can't track like that.
And it back to the father.
Neither can Corvus, he just does it.
almost like he's replicating another creature.
Yeah.
I do
No,
mention as we're being led, as
Mhm.
he's eager to lead us. Because Shidakai are rare.
They have become much more common in this part of
Okay,
the
I'm just
Forgotten
making sure
Realms.
like there's not like a stigma attached to them.
No,
or...
they have actually become much more common, especially they're actually quite well respected.
Course is
There are
fearing that it may be an attack of some kind.
no, there are numerous of. So what you would know is since I believe it was a
He helped in the
100 or so years, yeah,
they helped in
Elminster
the
himself brought back a large army of them to help
I know
repel
I
Shun.
know they helped in Waterdeep as well.
Yes, they helped in Baldur's Gate, and when that fell, they were instrumental in getting people out and to Waterdeep, and then once again instrumental in its defense.
I know I was just Course is like you gotta figure out Beast is very messy. Beast is not subtle. Person is subtle. Person usually has a good reason for doing something, and you don't attack farmers. You go on for that reason.
Yeah.
He's just trying to look through. They can figure out who's done it, and that can help them back. So we go to this brook.
Mhm.
Cause is actually walking not next to the brook, but away from the brook to preserve footprints.
Same.
Okay.
Though it's been a few days, so there's probably minimal left.
Maybe some animal track or gods may have fucking been stupid.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Once we're at the
So
spot, we said this is where last time I saw him. Kind of like.
yeah, no, he takes to a spot. It's like you said, it's pretty much in the middle of the field. The wheat's only about mid thigh to waist height, depending on the height
It's
of
gone.
yourself.
10-year-old mixture of human and child. Shidakai are not the tallest of elves.
They're not, but they're fairly tall.
You see, Ko is like, guessing that he's probably about the height of wheat, especially if he was prone. Ko is just like skinning and scanning because wheat's really good for tracking. You know, the grass of any sort is quite good for tracking because. So he's at that spot, which is down to the dirt, and starts just like full analysis mode. I'll even cast a detect magic just because.
Sapphire will help where she can. Although I assume Boy is going to work.
He's also helping us. Anything, Shadow.
Sorry, what was that?
Anything which we get to the spot and goes immediately like crouches down, starts like examining.
Go ahead and roll me via survival check.
And
help
Sapphire
the
is
boy
helping.
and will that help? Do I get
Boy
advantage?
will give you advantage, yes.
I guess in that
Okay.
case, I will roll on my own to see if I see anything.
Very good.
Okay. So, Corvus, you're looking around. You're looking for. You're looking more for like what you'd find in nature, like how you're trying to track an animal,
Yeah, it's like a.
and you're able to get something. You're able to tell. There's like a trail here. Sapphire, however, so you look at the trail. You're looking at this as a person,
Mm-hmm.
less than something you're
Less
hunting.
than a hunter, yeah.
And you recognize something that Corvus doesn't quite because of that. Uh, there is indeed a trail of steps, and they do kind of just stop. They're very faint at this point, but just due to the mud, they stick around a good bit. The final one you notice is just a little bit. It's not level. It's a little bit off center, leaning one way.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Which you're familiar with doing that. It looks like someone like jump to the side. It's a trick that you've used before to try and throw someone off your trail
Mm-hmm.
through like particularly like dirty areas in the city.
Yeah.
Just like land on the foot, and as it's hard to do this, but it's doable. Land on
Mhm.
the one foot and then spring off to the side to kind of jump out of the way to whoever is following you. Unless they look really hard, it looks like you just vanished,
Mm-hmm.
which it throws them off long enough for you to get away.
Mm-hmm. Is this jumping off towards the field or into the brook?
Towards the brook.
That concerning.
The brook itself is about 6 inches deep at most.
Okay, well, to be able to do that quietly without the dad noticing, that's kind of impressive. So either
Indeed.
he was trying to give some animal the juke or his father the juke. For what reason, I don't know. In which case, if it's in the brook, are there like footprints on the other side of the brook that I can
There are
faintly see?
not.
Okay, so just in the brook and gone. Right?
It seems like they just kind of just vanish.
Just jump towards the brook and nothing.
Just jump towards the brook and there's nothing. Like very clearly, you can tell there was some force put into it
Mm-hmm.
when whether they were like trying to jump across the brook or what, you're not sure. But clearly they jumped to the side, just like mid stride.
Mm-hmm.
What that could mean, who's to say?
Was there anything else going on when your son disappeared? And Sapphire's eyes are like more focused on that one footprint that is like that trick.
We were, like I said, checking the fields, but that's it.
Would your son have any reason to jump to the side and into the brook?
Uh, Not that I'm aware of.
It's faint, but that might be what he did.
Plus jumps to the brook.
You jump into the brook. Your shoes are now wet.
He's looking at the bottom of the brook.
Okay.
Still have detect magic up, so in case that's anything.
No, nothing seems to be magical about the area.
Where does this brook end?
I believe it flows into the. Ultimately, I believe it flows around Waterdeep, and I would assume into the sea at some point, but I'm not quite certain. I've never followed it all the way.
Oh, a brook had footprints. Also had scent. Do you ever went upstream or downstream? But how you didn't notice, that's the question.
Yeah, he nods along with you. That was a
Corvus
initial
gets out of the brook.
concern.
Gets out of the brook and
Would
starts kicking.
Corvus have mentioned to Sapphire, hey, this is probably why they are shut in? Like what
I think he
what
would have. I think he would have briefly, because you saw Corvus like get angsty and
Mhm.
relax a little bit. So clearly, I imagine it was mentioned.
Yeah. Has there been anything going around in town that's causing you guys to kind of barricade yourselves inside?
There is a rumor.
About?
A creature roaming through the town, but I haven't put much stock in it. Say something cries through the streets at night. I haven't heard anything myself, and I have thought to connect it, but it just doesn't make sense.
Have you heard this creature?
What was that?
Heard this
He just
creature.
said he didn't hear anything himself.
He hasn't
Yeah.
heard anything himself.
Was there any other description besides screaming creature running through the streets at night?
Not screaming. Not so much crying, but sounding very sorrowful. It depends on who you ask and who said they've heard it.
It's active at night.
He nods.
Anything, Shadow?
He nods. Yes.
Oh, no, anything, Shadow,
Would-
from was thinking.
Would that like possibly ring any bells for either?
Neither of you off the top of your head. No.
Anything I can. Where was the boy facing? I guess he was walking upstream. Or yeah, upstream.
What was that?
Where-
Was he walking upstream or downstream?
Oh, it seems like upstream was where was the direction the tracks lead.
Oh. Go different directions. If we can find the beginning and end, but take time.
Take a lot of time. And if he did move more upstream, his father would have noticed him.
Go downstream then.
It's worth a shot.
We'll keep looking. We can figure this out. Of course, we
He,
can think downstream.
Yeah, no, he kind of just remained still there for a second. Like, you can tell he was really hoping you'd have something more than what everyone else has
Before you
told him.
go, what color clothing was he wearing?
Oh, it was blue. He was wearing a bright blue shirt.
Did we have his name or no?
You haven't asked for it yet.
And what's his name?
Viren. His name is Viren.
Like that? Viren.
Veeren.
Viren. Okay. Okay.
That is too many V's for a name.
Okay.
Keep in mind, it's
Elvish.
it's a very interesting form of Elvish.
We will make sure that he is found.
We're gonna keep looking. And we'll let you know any updates.
Of course,
Thank you.
begins trudging down the river.
Thank you very much.
Sapphire's gonna stay like on the ground and not in the brook.
Corvus got out of the brook because his feet were getting cold. Look, he's lost one toe. He's not losing a second.
Yeah.
He's keeping his eye. Corvus is keeping his eye out for the smell. This is the boy, and also any signs of the kid's clothing. Cause we get lucky and it's snagged.
Mm-hmm.
His kids are even 10-year-olds are.
Reckless.
He's running down a stream away from his dad, quietly somehow. Yeah, we just traveled down the brook.
I'll be honest. I was expecting like there to be some rumor of some flying creatures, so the kid noticed it, tried to jump out of the way, and got swooped up.
Oh, it would be nice by the
That-
dad. Though.
That's true.
I
What do you think Corvus
mean,
can think? Yeah, I see.
it could always be something, instead of him jumping into the brook, something dragged him into the brook quietly.
That's what Corvus is looking. That's what Corvus is
Keep in mind the brook is 6 inches deep.
That's water weirds.
Water elementals.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Both
Fake.
of which would leave a body and make a sound.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
why. That's what really getting
Yeah.
Corvus is the
And
no
from
sound.
Shadow's description, it looked like the trick of someone jumping to the side, not being tackled to the side, right?
Yes.
Just traveling down the brook, Shadow. If we
Okay.
come across anyone, Corvus will try to
So
ask.
the direction that they came from or direction they were going?
downstream.
came from downstream.
Okay.
Because obviously the dad would have noticed if the kid went upstream,
Yeah.
because he would have had to pass him.
So you follow it for a good while. You follow it out of the field and under a bridge. It widens
Check
out, but it never really gets any deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I touched a couple bricks on the bridge, see if any are loose.
No. They all seem to be like it's a wooden bridge for one thing.
Oh, okay, good. Because what Corvus was checking for is the idea of like kids sometimes make secret little alcoves,
Yeah.
make them into clubhouses, and he's like, maybe that's what happened.
No, it's not big enough. It barely goes over
Did I
the
notice? Did I
thing.
notice wooden bridge or no? What else said?
What?
I noticed
do you
wooden
know?
bridge or no?
No, this is not nearby where you used to live.
Yeah.
You might have been near it at one point, but
Got it.
holds no special
Not
significance.
heading in that direction, am I?
No, you're heading away from that direction.
Good, good. I keep moving downstream.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping an eye out for anything. A guy stepping out. A group of footprints.
Yeah.
A blue top.
So
anything.
this keeps going for a while, like a long, long while.
Yeah.
It's a very long-running brook. It
Right.
never really like dries up. It does always have a flow. Like the flow is constant, but it's very, very shallow.
Yeah. Would I be able to notice any footprints on the other side that look about the same size as this kid's?
No
Potentially.
human footprints. There are some animal tracks, and like there are spots where someone clearly like can't walk close to it, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing that matches what you saw. No.
Okay.
Have this kid alien fine. When did he say that started happening?
When did he say that started happening?
Rumor.
He did not say when it started
Well, we
happening.
should have asked. Damn.
You can ask other people. There's people around.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a group of older ladies sitting around
I'll go
doing
approach
who
the
knows
old
what.
ladies.
I will follow Corvus when I notice him moving. to-
Okay. You walk up to the group of older women who are just sitting on a porch.
Pardon me, ma'ams.
Yes, dear.
We're looking into
Viren's disappearance.
yeah.
Viren. That's the boy who lives. You can see her count on her fingers. 7 houses that way, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah,
Sapphire will
that's
confirm.
about right. That's about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I didn't know he was missing.
It happened a couple days ago.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
We're
Seemed like
actually
such a nice young man.
We're actually wondering. We also heard of a creature that in the night. Wondering if you know when whereabouts that started.
Oh, you're talking about the lonely soul.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that started hearing it again about a week ago.
I'm sorry again.
A week ago.
Yes.
No. She said we started hearing it again.
Yes, it's a sound that we know very well. A bit of a local legend, you see. Every few months it pops up again.
Does it take children?
No, it simply cries and moans, and sometimes it wails. It's all very sad.
Have you ever seen this creature?
No, I don't think anyone has.
Do people typically disappear around the same time it starts coming back, or no?
Not that I can recall.
Was it? It was the wait. It was the lonely one.
Yes.
It happens every night, every other night for like a couple weeks, and then disappears.
Not every night. It doesn't really seem to have a schedule. But it has been most these past week or so.
It doesn't seem to hurt anyone, or
No.
perhaps do you know of any drunkard who's claimed to have seen it?
No, none have claimed to see it. There was one fellow, several months ago, uh, claimed he heard it walk by him, but he didn't see anything. He was also quite intoxicated at the time. She kind of lowers her voice for that last part.
Cause nods.
You're like old lady gossip.
Yeah, so not much use then.
No, he has a bit of a reputation, you see.
How can we find him anyway?
At this time of day, I think he'd be inside the city.
Right.
Do you know if Viren has any friends that might know where he could have vanished to?
There aren't many children around here. Um, I believe there's a pair of younger girls, and I think that there are a couple other young boys his age, but they are not many. We're a community of older folks, you see. Not that much spirit for youngsters. And I'm afraid they tire me out far too quickly. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Oh, sorry for taking up your time, but we
It's
thank you
quite
for it.
alright. Oh, thank you. And if you find the boy, tell him that I said hello.
Of course, man.
Who should we tell him said hello then? I don't think we caught your name.
Oh, they just call me old Granny, dear. I'm the oldest one in the village, you see. Well,
I
the
know this
oldest.
woman.
No,
Okay. I'll
the
say if
oldest
she
woman,
was
that
still
is.
old granny when I was running around.
There might have been an old granny around quite far away.
Okay.
There's multiple
Always
old grannies.
Always old granny.
There's probably an old granny everywhere.
Yeah. She just like going on a porch, and whatever she is doing.
There's a couple others. They're all knitting.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're not inside like everyone else.
No, not really.
If I may
And
ask,
I
what
say
are-
when I say not really, I mean that the porch itself is sort of enclosed.
right? Don't you?
You're kind of talking here through some wooden bars.
Don't it's like it wouldn't be weird for them to be out if they're doing the lockdown procedure.
Older folks like this sometimes just don't care.
I'm too old.
But
I'm ready for death, kind of thing. Alright.
not so much that. It's more
this
I've
is an
been through it.
urban
I've
legend.
been through it so many times. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like Floridians with hurricanes. Well, you get one every other year. You stop caring.
Yeah. And it's
Or
also like they've lived through this specific rumor several times and they know it
yeah,
doesn't
like
affect
this
people.
rumor's been going on, like been around for a long time.
But
They don't give a crap anymore.
how long has the lonely one been poking around?
Oh, several years, I think.
Every couple months, and it doesn't seem to have any kind of schedule.
None that I can piece together. But my memory's not what it used to be. So, I suppose it's possible.
Thank you. been helpful.
Oh, I'm always glad to help. Thank you for sparing some time to chat.
You lovely ladies enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, you as well, dear.
Out of character, we'll enjoy it a lot more if we find this kid soon.
She goes back to knitting.
Corvus is just like I think like Corvus is goes back to the brook and just like looking for kids or anyone around that he can maybe ask.
Mm-hmm.
Not really anybody.
Right. So what's our best bet here? Looking at this brook, or up at night and see if we can find this lonely thing.
It might do us well finding some of the kids in town, seeing if they know anything about where Viren might be hiding.
If
If he did indeed just manage to slip past his father.
So, to give you a bit of an idea, there is a child missing, and
Mhm.
this going on. Kids are probably not coming out. Their parents are
That's-
probably not letting them.
That's understandable.
what this is.
I'm also going to encourage you to think about what it's going to mean for two people nobody's ever seen before going door to door asking for children.
Yeah.
Bring us your children.
Especially given the circumstances.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Especially given how Corvus looks.
Yeah.
Smells.
Yeah.
Would you give your would you let your child see Force
I would
Jesus?
I would trust that man with my life.
I mean,
Look, if you entrust your child to Forest Jesus, one of two things happens. A, CPS gets called on you. Two, your child winds up learning very magical things.
Magical.
And then CPS gets called on you.
Yeah. Corvus gonna continue for a bit. He's gonna see if he can get like a clear view of the end of the brook, because he said it winds a bit.
Not really. Like, it goes on for a while. Even where you went to, it still keeps going.
I wonder if there's any potential hiding places around here, but
I've been looking for.
There's really not right now.
yes,
there
but
are
we've
some
been looking
wagons.
more so by the brook and not like.
It's largely just the wheat field. Well, fields.
Best thing we have is to try at night. Maybe this lonely one has some answers for us.
If we can even spot them.
We'll hear it.
That's true.
That's a really good thing you guys have the Tressum.
So here is a question. Are you guys just going to wait for nightfall at this point? And if so, are you going to bring the others in on this? Or try to?
Right, so Corvus knows the more eyes we have, the better. He also doesn't know what this creature is. It could be dangerous, it could be completely harmless. He'd be fine getting the others. He wants to stick around the town and not leave. You mentioned this to Sapphire, like.
So he's gonna stay in town and keep
I-
looking, and Sapphire
yeah.
will go and collect the others.
Yeah, because we may need other sets of eyes on this.
Yeah, and I would be willing to just tell the party and then come back.
Clout left.
Yeah.
I really expected Cloud to stay with
The
them.
little glutton.
Like, he is.
Like, Cloud is going to where there's food.
You know, I might need to actually cast the Find Familiar spell so that I have two.
In theory, I could send flowers to tell Cheese.
You could.
Yeah, in theory you could.
I would ask him if he was comfortable with that first.
Given the circumstances, he will be.
Okay. And then I will let him go.
Alright, well.
But I do think that is the point I'm going to call it for
Yeah.
tonight.
Mm-hmm. And I'm very much going to consider spending 10 gold
I
on
know
getting
what
a
this-
second
I
familiar.
I think I know what this creature. I think I know what the creature is.
What?
Oh.
Say, I'm gonna tell you. Ruin the surprise.
Well, if you tell me, I might tell you whether you're correct or not.
I'll tell you, but I won't tell.
Okay.
Alright, well. With that, we will call it here for today. As always, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are, and remember to stay frosty. For those of you watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe and ring that notification bell to get more content like this in the future. And if you support the channel or our artists, please view the links down in the description below.
With your thumbs and tears for touch, you draw me from dust and turn me into such. All you granted me was lust.